PGA Tour caddy Todd Montoya has played many roles to those he's met through the game of golf. A friend, a caddy, a mentor.
He was the typical hard worker, first guy out, last guy to leave, and I learned a lot about work ethic and what it was going to take to be successful out here from him.
But for decades, he has struggled to play the most important role, himself.
Something that you've kept secret for so many years amongst people that you consider your friends and your co-workers. Over the course of time, you grow close to them, and until people that I care about know that I'm gay, they really don't know me for my entirety.
Todd Montoya has spent his life on the golf course. Growing up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, he played on his high school golf team, and in his early 20s, he made a leap of faith to try his hand at caddying on the professional tours.
Officially, there are 365,247 ways to start caddying.
Officially?
Officially.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
You can look it up and fact check that. But we decided to go see a mini tour event in Albuquerque. And when we were there, we found out that they were shorthanded on caddies. And so I picked up the bag of Mike Morley.
Where's Mike Morley these days?
I have no idea whatsoever.
You make a choice of some sort to not be open about this part of your life, about your sexuality. Why was that the decision you made?
I think that it was mostly because that was my preconceived notion about the society of people that probably encompass the golf community. And I just felt like I would have a better opportunity to get a job and keep a job if I kept it hidden.
Doug LaBelle.
After several years on the mini tours, in 2006, Montoya was on the bag for Doug LaBelle when LaBelle secured his PGA Tour card. Afraid of the potential consequences for both him and his player of his sexuality being exposed, Montoya made a choice that would lead to the first step towards his own self-acceptance.
I called him up and I said, "Hey, Dougie, are you busy?" I said, "There's something really important that I wanted to tell you." And I said, "I'm gay." And he paused and he said, "It doesn't make any difference whatsoever." And he gave me a big hug. And it's just, when someone that's important to you accepts you for who you are, it's a big deal.
After coming out to Doug LaBelle, Todd would tell a few other close friends, but continued to hide his sexuality from the rest of the golf world for the next 15 years.
He told me he needed to be careful, and he did say, I'll tell people if I trust them.
In 2016, he began looping for Brian Stewart. But after 4 years, Montoya felt the weight of his secret beginning to pull him down once again.
As time passes, frustration level increases, is what it is, with the situation of constantly feeling like you're hiding something from everybody, people that you work with, people that you consider friends. We're at the Northern Trust, the first round of the playoffs, and I say, "Brian, I've enjoyed working with you more than anyone else I've ever worked with, but there's something that I wanted to tell you." And I said, I just wanted to tell you that I'm gay.
Afterwards, he told me he had been living with that for a number of years. That would be a tough thing to have to feel like you couldn't tell anybody.
I went out to dinner that evening, and as text comes through from Brian, it says, "Just wanted to say thanks for another successful year. And also just wanted to say that I really appreciate that you told me, and that I feel very grateful that you consider me close enough for you to open up. And don't think for one second that makes me think any differently of you and the person that you are."
I just wanted to make sure he knew that it didn't change the way I felt about him. He's always been the same Todd to me.
How different, if at all, is your mental health moving forward on the PGA Tour every day when you're walking around? Do you feel different at all?
I feel 100% different. I feel like I'm walking on air. I feel like Brian has given me the greatest gift that I could get. I feel like he's given me my freedom.
Acceptance comes in waves. For Todd Montoya, the journey to being his most authentic self is still long, but it does get easier day by day with the continuous support of those around him.
Todd is one of the best people that I know. Like, I get emotional pretty quickly because I can't imagine how it was for him, how he was living. I'm glad that he gets to live the way he wants to now and that we're all here and have his back.
And he hopes his story helps to inspire anyone who may be struggling themselves.
Why are you sitting in this chair today?
My hope is that they can see someone who's taken that step and found in their life that it's okay to be yourself and be out.